Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the beautiful Bikernieki here in Latvia. I will be your commentator for the night. My name is Spitslam, and right beside me is Glebik.
Hey guys!
We here all
Too much
welcome you to
enthusiasm.
the first ever race at the beautiful, and I mean very beautiful, Bikernieki, located in Latvian countryside near the Balt. Well, it's in the Balt. It's not near the Balt.
In the
The
Baltic.
car
In the
has
Baltic Sea.
amazingly 5.9 kilometers. It's one of the longer tracks. As you see currently Slav, he's going through the Omega corner on how we will call it. A lot of these corners don't have corner names. This track, which actually hosted, if I'm right, it hosted some TSR events. It's also split into many more tracks. It's split into the Ring of Skill, which Slav is currently now completing. As you see here, he would go onto the start and finish line and complete the Ring of Skill. But he's right now going onto the high speed section, which is one of the best sections ever. We are driving the Alfa Romeo 155 Ti V6, and yes, the engine you hear is the same V6 that is used in F1, but it has more airflow, it has more engine flow. It's better in all the ways than F1 is, and it's beautiful sounding.
Well,
Yes.
to be honest, this engine was still built to last, so this engine makes, I would say only, but it's 420 horsepower, 420 horsepower at peak, and peak power is in 11,800 RPMs.
We have 10 minutes of qualifying. We have two 15-minute races, with the second one being, and I mean being, a perfect 15 minutes and reverse grid. Both of the races are 15 minutes, of course. Reverse grid, the results from race 1. Whoever wins becomes last. Of course, if you don't have a DNF. If that happens, it's up to us, of
You're
course.
last.
Well, it depends. Because if it's within like one lap, you can still be first. It's weird. Well, currently Slav, the only guy that's not the only guy, the first guy on a flying lap right now, going into the first heartbreaking zone. As you can see, he locks up and throws the lap away. Interesting strategy. This car is pretty hard. Smetty right behind him clears the corner pretty well, and this is how you should do it. As you can see, it's quite hilly. There's a forest around it. It looks like Nordschleife, but it's in Latvia.
And not as dangerous.
It's even more dangerous, maybe. No, I'm kidding. Bikernieki is less dangerous, and it's even newer, built in the 1980s, and Smetty throws away his lap as well. That's one of the corners I specifically hate. Let's see how Edmund is doing it. Right now he's going into the hard braking zone. Into the second gear you go, and a beautiful exit. These cars are essentially four-wheel drive. It's more rear wheel. They're great for drifting as well. You will see a lot of our drivers drifting through some turns. I completely love it. And I think this is like one of the best combos we could ever have. But it's a pretty difficult combo for a first race. What do you think?
Well, I'm quite afraid that there won't be enough overtaking opportunities because the track is quite narrow. So
But it's long as well. I think if you have any madman, he cannot find any gap. As Ayrton said, I would say, if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. And if you go for a gap that doesn't exist, you're Pastor Maldonado.
Oh yeah,
So
everybody loves Pastor.
he actually won some races, unlikely in Lawson.
Nah, don't talk about him.
Yes, I
Bro
will.
was there for less than 200
week,
hours.
1 week. 1 week is wild though, honestly. Well, Latvia's only permanent track, which that's crazy if you ask me. I don't want booking. Great. Please let me. And we do have. Okay, I'm not pronouncing any of the names we have there. So we're making up our own. Because I do not speak
Yes.
Latvian. Neither does the one and only Chlebík. Well,
What? I'm sorry.
can you speak Latvian?
Of course. Every day I wake up, speak Latvian. Yeah.
You can already see some of the drift marks in that particular corner. As Mekambe, who is the only one on softs, did a 221. I don't know if Edmund invalidated right now, but it definitely seems. Oh, he crashed. He definitely invalidated the lap. It's 3 minutes of qualifying left. I think the 10 minutes of qualifying really pushes the drivers to their limits.
Yep.
Or then you have people
I
with low
think-
skill who are still doing their out lap. Or is he? I don't know.
Where is our guy? He's somewhere
He's right now.
over the rainbow.
He's right now going into the high-speed section of the track. This is one of the most toughest corners ever. The uphill climb, and then you have a really short break into a corner. It's one of the hardest corners on the entire track. The seconds to it being to Omega.
Also, I've just noticed. Why is Mekambe 10 seconds faster than Sloth?
Soft.
Damn. Soft power.
It actually makes that big of a difference. It's wild.
Damn. This track is very grip intensive, I think. Well, it looks like that. And to be honest, the V6s sound good.
So I was telling a lie. It's the 1960s when it completed, and the first complete part was the Ring of Skill. Of course it was.
And Skittle has a lap.
And he's third. That's wild.
Yep. He's on softs too?
The TCR drove there, so we are on a very particular track that even TCR's raced, which I find quite cool. Also, it's one of the most difficult names I have ever seen.
Fair enough.
Wild. So, the World Rallycross is held. Rallycross is held there.
Oh.
Like that's and the Baltic DCR. That's wild. I
What?
don't need the Baltic DCR races on Bikernieki.
What even is Baltic TCR? Like, what cars are there?
DCR, it's the tracks we are going to race this season as well. I think DCR has one of the best choices of tracks, and it's crazy. You will see it, well, if you are in the server, you'll see some of the tracks once we come up to TCR, which I don't even remember when we are racing TCR currently. That's how secret all of this has to be. So
Do you want me to find it?
no, it's fine. I remember it. I'm lying.
Fair enough.
So, the Ring of Skill was completed in 1966. The short oval circuit, which is still present to this day, which has 1.7 kilometers, and we have our first overtake on track, which is low skill on Jake, which is Jake Will. He's a new contestant for this entire series. Also, we have 8 people. I think that's a success.
Yeah. To be honest, I hoped for more, but sadly.
We should have had more. Unfortunately, one of our riders is on a date, which they're celebrating an anniversary, so I hope they have a very good time. The other guy unfortunately broke his wrist, which is pretty sad. And the third guy that was supposed to race has to look after his kids, so Hopefully he's watching the stream. If you are, hello. I know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about as well. Also, Buddha is here, and he's in the chat for more support, so welcome. Well, a hell of a session, which I'm the ultimate yapper. Mekambe, 221.002. That's wild. That's the difference of the softs. Don't know if Slav had softs. I don't think he did as well. But Mekambe claims his first ever pole position on one of the hardest tracks in the entire calendar. Which is wild. Slav is second with a time 221.8. Zilskill is third with 222.4, which is a 6-second gap. 0.6 second gap to Slav. Jake is fourth with 225, which is a 3-second gap to Zilskill. Smetty 228, again 3-second gap. 2-second gap from Will Johnson to Smetty. Will Johnson is 6th, Edmund is 7th with 243, a 13-second gap. And John Green is unfortunately 257.4, the slowest time of them all. A 13, no, I'm kidding. 14-second gap. That's wild. Is he even on the race?
That's a lot of gap.
He is not even on the race. He maybe got mad. Well, let's
Fair enough.
let Mekambe finish his lap. Might as well. He's went into the pits. Fine, let's go on to the next session. Beautiful, and I mean very beautiful Bikernieki. An amazing track. We will start from the back. You can see it's the normal grid style we are very all used to. We will see even more grid styles, which might be weird, or I don't remember if we are going to start 3 wide, potentially not. My question is, as always, who is first into turn 1?
I think it's going to be Mekambe.
It potentially might be. Mekambe is a very good driver, and I don't care that my steering wheel is not centered. I'm not on the track. Well, that is interesting. At best, ignore it.
Somebody forgot his wheel.
I forgot my wheel. The 6 lights are on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for a long wait,
we
the
are
6 lights
racing.
are off, and we are racing tonight for the very first time. A great getaway by Mekambe. Right behind him is Slav, going to the very, and I mean a good position, number 5, and it's
Whoa.
3 wide into turn 1. It's already a large braking zone with a car spinning around. It's little skill, and it's 3 cars. It's a massive crash, and I think we should restart the race.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh.
They will be mad.
No race. No race for you. Keep it together, guys.
They will
We
get
are
it.
like the fun police.
It's not the fun police. He spun in the middle of the first corner. Unfortunately, I am not responsible for that.
Unfortunately.
Well, I'm the organizer. I am responsible for it.
Yeah, it was personally aimed at you.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Well, second race restart, our second start of the season after turn 1. I anticipated, honestly. But there you go. The 6 lights are on. And they are off as we quickly get off the line. Mekambe gets another perfect start. How does he do it? Slav gets a slower start than before. And Slow Skill, who is running up the inside. And they keep it clean. Slav goes round the outside into turn 1. It's very clear. 3 wide into turn 1, which that's crazy, mate. Mekambe still makes up the first position. So yes, your prediction was pretty correct. Jake almost spins out, but he doesn't do it. It's very, very close, and I mean it. Mekambe still first. Slav is keeps attacking him, and now onto the ring of skill we go. Will Johnson lagging a little bit back there. Slav takes a little bit of the grass, but it's fine. These cars are technically built for it. The biggest gap is currently 1 second, which is at the back is Johnson. Why does Mekambe has his indicator on? I didn't even know how you do that in this game. It's Smetty going really, and I mean really wide into the heartbreaking zone. He could have outbroke himself. It's very easy right here. Someone outbroke himself. Sloth outbroke himself. It's a large spin. That's 2 cars in the fences. Well, 3 technically. It's Will Johnson spin there like a Beyblade. And Mekambe has a 3-4 second gap onto the leader. Will Johnson is still, and I mean still, very struggling. There's another crash. It's Jake. He doesn't crash though. What a recovery from Jake, and they go side by side into the next corner. It's a little zigzag. You have to be very careful there, as Jake makes another huge mistake, and Will Johnson will at least have someone to race, if I'm correct. And this is crazy, and I mean very. Loskill is now the closest to Smetty. He'll try and attack Smetty. Maybe he'll hopefully do something. Onto the high-speed section we go. These guys are the closest. 0.5 is the current gap. Can Lil Skill catch up to Smetty, or can he not?
I think he can. Because his race start was very good.
I forgot to undo the 1 lap, so it's 15 plus 1 lap. Happens to the best of us. Lil Skill has a better start for the straights, honestly, it seems. For the faster corners, as he caught up to Smetty real quick, and I mean really quick. Or is it the slipstream, or is it just a technique?
I think it's the slipstream. The slipstream should be very like powerful with these cars. Sorry.
It should be very powerful.
Little Skittle will try to put pressure on Smetty. Maybe try to overtake him into the first corner. Try to take the inside line. Smetty won't defend.
Ooh, that's a big overcorrect by Lil Skill. They touch going into the first corner, and it's pretty clean, I would say, cleaner than most would think. And it's Lil Skill pulling away from Smetty, now going into the ring of skill. Smetty did a huge mistake here last time. Hopefully he'll keep it together this time, and it might be the slipstream, because Smetty is pulling on Lil Skill, and this is the straightest part of the entire circuit.
Will he try to put it inside? No, he will, but he breaks too late for my opinion.
He does remember the gentleman rules. Very well done by Smetty. Hopefully Skill will do something as well, and that's a huge drift by Smetty going into the Omega. As I said, this is one of the hardest tracks we have here, and you see the gap between Mekambe and Sloth. He still has his right indicator on.
And that was Smetty spinning in the background of Little Skittle. I don't think he can recover fast enough, so Jake will probably have another person to race.
And Little Skittle is getting really close to Edmund suddenly. Oh, the setup master himself has maybe undone himself a little bit. He wants that podium. He qualified in 3rd place. He wants to keep that 3rd place. But for 5 minutes of the race, I want to say it's cleaner than I thought. Yes, we did have a race restart, but it's cleaner than I thought. And look at the lines. Yeah. Edmund doesn't know how to take the high-speed ring very well.
But props to him, he's still holding out.
The gap went from 2 seconds to 0.5 just during the high speed ring. Lil Skill loves these old cars. He knows how to drift them. He knows everything about tire slip angle. So this is a combo where Lil Skill can be very, and I mean very dangerous. But now
you think he will catch Sloth in the 9 minutes?
Potentially he can, as he now goes side by side with Edmund into the ring of skill. They go, and it's like Edmund just let him be. Lil Skill goes into the 3rd position and is now doing his own work to catch up to Sloth. The gap is 6 seconds, and it also seems like the gap from Slough to Macambay got smaller, and I mean by a lot, by almost 1 second.
Well, that would explain why the gap between Skill and Sloth is bigger now, because
Edmund makes a
Sloth
mistake.
could have.
He spins in Omega. Can Jake maybe profit from this?
He's far back. Oh, not anymore. 2 seconds. Not too bad. If we take into consideration that he's a real racing driver.
The 15-year-old races in the Ford Cup, which is quite impressive. He is from Great Britain, and he currently competes in the BRSC Fiesta Juniors. It's a UK-based track series, and his season starts on the 5th of April at Snetterton in Norfolk. He'll be happy to be interviewed.
And Skinner made a mistake.
He'll be interviewed if he gets into the top 3, you know, any of the races. And on the 5th, which is right after our second round of the Ultimate Sprint Cup, we'll definitely see him. It's 12 seconds between Lil Skill and Sloth, so that must have been a huge mistake by Lil Skill.
Yeah, he spun. It wasn't an exactly clean spin. He punted the wall a bit, but he recovered and he's back on track.
See, look at the gaps on the mini map. It's wild. The gap between third and second is huge, monumental, you would say. Even
Massive.
yes. Did oh my god. Okay, Lil Skill he knows he's being streamed, and he's putting on a little show. This guy
Damn,
likes
mate.
he
Drive.
loves to show off, and he just drifted the entirety of turn 1. But what I see on my screen is Jake getting closer and closer to Edmund. The gap almost going below 1 second.
I think we will see an overtake not far from now. I give it like 2 laps maximum. If he doesn't make any mistakes.
6 minutes left of the race. 9 minutes that already happened, plus 1 lap is still counting on us. Jake is under the 1 second. Can he make some very interesting overtake here, or will he wait for the high-speed section? That's all that will be answered. Will Johnson makes a mistake in the very 90 difficult corner, which has 90 degrees. It's a right-hander as well. I hit that corner with passion. But Jake is getting closer and closer. Honestly, it seems like he got it a little bit under his finger, this combo. Can we maybe see him as a potential threat in the second reverse race? And a contender for podium. Now they go onto the high-speed ring, and the gap goes to 0.4. At the start of the lap, it was like 2 seconds. Now it's 0.5. It's all the difference it makes. Can Jake maybe do some of his magic? Already getting ready for his season, starting at Snetterton. Can we see some very fun racing from this 15-year-old that has a lot of potential?
I think we can. I think he will try to put his elbows out, put pressure on Edmund as we see that now.
And he spins, he touches Edmund from the back, and he spins all the way to the gate. That's such a shame. And Smetty overtakes him for 5th place, and Sloth makes a mistake. Sloth spins in the first corner. It's all to win, all to lose. Every single mistake counts. It's 5 minutes to go plus 1 lap, so around 6 minutes, I guess. Edmund makes a huge mistake as well on the start-finish line. Smetty goes from 6th to 4th in almost a corner, and Jake is back on Edmund's rear. As they round out the first corner, Jake will try everything to overtake into the ring section if he can. Klebby,
Yep. I'm
you're
alive.
sleeping.
Nah, I'm alive. I'm just letting you talk a bit. You seem in good mood.
The gap, 0.4 between Edmund and Jake. Can we maybe see a pretty overtake here? The 90-degree right-hander, which is one of the most famous corners for outbreaking yourself or just not having fun at all. Into the Omega they go. The gap goes from 0.4 to 0.9 within a couple of corners. Seems like Jake wants to have some room if Edmund spins out, but Edmund sees prey in front of him as well. He's not just the hunted, he's the hunter. He sees Smetty right before him, and 3 minutes left to go, and here it's shaping up to be a really interesting battle.
I think I misjudged this track. There seems to be a lot of overtaking opportunities.
It's mostly the crashes, honestly.
Nah, it's the track. Face it. Real.
It's a challenge.
Jake made a little mistake.
There's no way that
onto the
it's
grass.
named Ring of Skill without having skill checks. How I'll call
Nah, I think it's called the Ring of Skill.
it. Skill, okay. Not cool.
It's funny.
And
And look at him, he's doing good. He's doing good.
Yeah, skill
And
is third. He has a 13-second gap, but
Oh.
he's doing good.
was there a mistake? Oh yeah, a huge mistake.
A huge mistake by a little
damn.
skill. Can the free catch up to him? Can we make this race even more interesting than it has to be? Now Skills already had a very great spin, which, I mean, he got out of it quickly. And the gap still goes down, but the gap between Edmund and Smetty is the gap we are looking for currently. Jake is getting closer as well. Maybe they can battle a little bit. Maybe Jake can approach them as well. You can see, why does Edmund not have a steering wheel? That's weird, but that's a very great dive from from Edmund to Smetty. And Jake is right on their behinds. As I said, he almost spins into the first corner. And Smetty now has to defend. Going into the Ring of Skill they go. It's Smetty versus Edmund, and Jake right behind them, smelling some positions that can be overtaken. It's from 4th to 6th, with Will Johnson having an 18-second gap between them, which is, that's honestly crazy. And they go, he tries to dive it into the inside. Smetty makes a mistake because of it. Edmund got into his head. The pressure got to Smetty, but Edmund still didn't take the position. It's such a shame. And Jake appears. He's within the 1 second gap he wants to be. Edmund is maybe a little bit too close to Smetty. If Smetty makes a mistake, we don't know. We cannot see it all. We have to see now. This is one of the hardest corners, and there they go. The three of them are very, and I mean very, very close. Almost within 1 second. Now they are within 1 second. No, they are not anymore. And it's a huge spin from Edmund. Edmund touches the crash just a little bit. It's all it takes. Jake takes 3rd place. He can take 3rd place. The crash was not his mistake at all. Smetty makes a mistake as well. And it continues. The drivers do not get a break. Edmund makes a mistake as well. Jake, he can maybe get 2 positions in 1 lap. It's all he wants, all he needs. The high speed range, the first turn of it, is already on. Smetty takes such a small line. It's not even on the apex. Jake potentially can overtake and get within 1 second, but seems like the Ring of Skill is where Jake has the time. He has the skill, but not the speed currently. As I said, he's almost within the 1 second gap, and he's just sending it through these corners. In 3rd gear, 130 kilometers per hour is the speed. Now going into the 180s, almost the 200s. Onto the curb, you don't have to hug it that much. These are pretty high curves. They can unsettle you a lot. And he's still not within 1 second. Biggest loser of this lap, definitely Edmund. 6 seconds behind Jake. Jake is the hunter, Smetty the hunted. Smetty makes a little bit of a mistake. He doesn't know how to brake for the first corner. Can Jake maybe do something? No, he can't. Smetty still remains in 4th position by some miracle. It's 1 lap left. Where is Mekambe? Mekambe is just in the middle of the track. both take it real, and I mean really wide. Jake versus Smetty, the battle we want to have is currently here. 0.3, 0.4, that's the gap. Almost seems like Smetty is pulling away from Jake here, which is interesting. There you can see in the back, Edmund, he gained 2 seconds within a braking zone. So the
That's a lot
time
of time.
maker is this singular corner, and they're scared of it.
Well, very rightfully so, because quite a bit of race hopes ended there. As I say that Jake is getting even closer to Smetty. He's now 0.6 seconds behind him. He will try to put him under pressure, and hopefully he doesn't make mistakes.
We have to switch a little bit from now on as Mekambi runs out the final corner, and he's going into the last lap of the race. 2:22 is his last lap time. Can he not make a singular mistake? Let's go back to the battle of the weights, the titans as we will call it currently. It's the only battle we have for the whole race, I will say, which is crazy. Jake versus Smetty. Smetty, who doesn't even know how he is in this position, will have to battle with technically maybe one of our fastest drivers in the series, but we are not quite sure. We will see. This is a series that will test a lot of the skills of a driver. We have rear wheel, we have 4-wheel drive, we have front wheel drive, we have short tracks, we have street circuits, we have everything ready to go. As Jake is 0.3, as I'm battling 0.2 is the gap currently. Jake will have to overtake somewhere on the straight. That's a great drift from Smetty. It's almost a defensive drift, takes up the whole corner. Jake will have to get out of the corner, the power on the gas. There you go, 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 go. It's all you have to do. Jake, 0.2 is the gap. You just have to stay in the slipstream, 200 kilometers per hour. Into a single corner, you don't even have to brake that much. You broke too much. Slav makes a huge mistake somewhere in the Omega. He makes a mistake, but little skill is far away, and I mean so far away. Jake still has no place to overtake. He'll try into the ring of skill. He goes. He has to make some sort of move here. He has to get it into Smetty's head. By the way, Mekambi is already in the first corner of the high-speed circuit, and Will Johnson just currently started the last lap.
Both of them are vibing.
Honestly, yes.
Just chill guys. 2 chill guys, for real.
Into the Omega they go. A little bit of rear stepping out for Smetty, but it's nothing he can handle. I think I've been overestimating Smetty a lot. He's a better driver than I thought. Sorry, my guy. But it's Jake who is right now on his tail. And the high-speed corners are coming in soon again. Can Jake take the position even a little bit? Can he approach even more? Mekambi finishes the lap on off screen. I'm so sorry. First ever win. The great choices of Soft. Jake makes it seem like a huge mistake. I forgot that's where the corner released from. 1 second is the gap between them. Slav rounds at the last corner of the first race, and he finishes second. What a great race from Slav. Some mistakes happened, but it's whatever. Back to this amazing battle, and as Jake makes a huge mistake, goes into the gravel. Edmund right behind him wants to make some sort of move. As Little Skill rounds out the final corner. He ends third this entire race. Even if he makes a mistake, it's fine. He has 20-second gap to Smetty. It's currently these 3 guys. It's all we are looking for. Smetty currently 4th, Jake 5th, and Edmund 6th. It's the only battle on track. 0.5 is the gap until the final corners they go. Smetty is already into the final corners. He has only 1 corner to round out. It's all it takes. Smetty takes 4th position in the first race. It's amazing result from him. Jake ends 5th as Edmund makes a mistake on the last corner. Just a little bit steps out. The gap 0.5 at the end, 1.5. That mistake cost 1 second.
He overpushed himself. Well, it's quite understandable because he really wanted to overtake, but it didn't happen.
Amazing first race here at Bikernieki. Will Johnson unfortunately had a pretty good starting point, but he didn't get far enough, and unfortunately for him, he finished 7th and has a little jump at the end of the finish line.
But that means that he is going to start in the first place. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Reverse grid, baby!
Reverse grid is the fun we are having here. So, are you ready for the next session? Because that was amazing.
Oh, yeah. That was great racing.
Was one of the best racing we ever had. It's reverse grid. Let's go disconnected.
Oh. That's not good.
He will have time to connect. But he will potentially start from the pit lane. It's Will Johnson first, Edmund second. And to show it like this. Jake third, Smetty fourth, Slav fifth. Well, Skill would be fifth. Slav fifth, McCambe last. Oh,
And Little Skid is back.
He's fifth, Slav is sixth, and McCambe is seventh. It will be crucial to not mess up turn 1.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't need to do another restart.
Who do you think will be first in turn 1? Quick.
Skill. Little Skill.
Little Skill will be first into turn 1 by Klebik. It's 6 lights on. 6 lights off, and we go off the line for our first ever reverse grid into Ultimate Touring Challenge. As we go, Will Johnson has a great start. Edmund goes side by side, and it's almost 3 wide into turn 1. They keep it very clean. It's side by side. Will Johnson third, Jake second, Edmund third. It's not even a single crash. Very clean. Edmund takes first, Jake takes second, Slow Skill takes third. You were wrong. Will Johnson drops the 4th position. Slav 5th, Smetty 6th, McCambe 7th. McCambe is still currently last. Will Johnson drops even 1 more place. Still, the only one on softs is McCambe. He will have to make as many positions as he can. Currently he has to... Well, as well, he's looking up the inside of Smetty. Can he maybe find some positions? Smetty also dropped like a sack of bricks. Edmund goes now into one of the hardest turns. And they touch a little bit. And it's a big crash of 4 cars right behind them. But it's still Skill, Jake and Edmund who get away from the crash. And these 3 are very, very close. It's about that. I'm surprised to see. Quite. Jake almost makes a huge mistake out of the Omega. Edmund currently has to lead the gaps. 0.5, 0.6. That's Little Skill goes side by side with Jake. He almost takes the position. He takes the position out of the Omega. An amazing overtake by Little Skill. Drifts this turn a little bit. And here they go. As it comes, there it goes. Little Skill, one of the most amazing overtakes we see. 4 seconds is the gap. Only 4 seconds. That's wild. 2-second gap is from Will Johnson. The McCambe. Slav right now will want to overtake Will Johnson. Will Johnson gets overtaken by Slav into this very particular corner. Smetty makes a huge mistake out of the corner. But it's now battle for the lead. Edmund versus Skill is the battle we are definitely looking for. Into high speed ring they already are. The second, I would say, hard braking zone in quotation marks are still in 4th gear. You have to
Very
take it
hard.
as wide as you can, I know. And Little Skill is right on his rear bumper. He's smelling the exhaust fumes. Can he maybe take the position with him? He wants it. Point 2 is the gap. He's very, very close. Now at the end of the high speed ring, they are. The last corner of the first lap is right now. And onto the start finish line and go. Point 3 is the gap. Can we see him maybe do a very interesting move into turn 1? Maybe a slide, maybe something. He goes 200 kilometers per hour. Then brakes right into 2nd gear. Takes the corner very well, and he almost spins.
Ooh.
He goes side by side with Edmund. What? What a great achievement by Little Skill. He's still not in first place. He almost stands by it. Jake takes a little trip into the grass. Same goes for McCambe, who is currently 4th and is very close to these drivers. So the gap that is still remaining is Edmund and Little Skill.
Well, Little Skittle is putting a lot of pressure onto Edmund, and he is hoping that Edmund is going to make mistakes. As I see in the back, Mekambe is getting close to Jake, and Mekambe overtook Jake because Jake went wide, but Jake switches back.
Jake is still not getting up after the Omega. The little shoulders getting out, as we said. The shoulders will get out as Little Skill is very, and I mean very freaking close to Edmund, which is something we have not seen in a little while. That's the worst camera angle we can have. And he's very, very close. He's technically on his bumper. But this is the worst position he can be in currently. This is the worst position he can overtake. As he almost sees the gap. He almost takes it. He didn't have the speed to take it. He didn't have the momentum. Edmund is as wide as a train. Little Skill now tries to go onto the inside. The Minister of
Defense.
He doesn't have the space right there. He has to send it. They drift through the first third of high speed ring. Edmund is defending by the skin of his teeth. It's still legal. He's not even weaving on the track. It's very annoying for Little Skill, but it's all he has to do. The overtake is right there in front of him. It's Little Skill. Edmund still takes third position, but it's like he's breaking him up. 2.3 is the gap between Little Skill and Jake. Can Edmund maybe try and get to 2 behind him? Jake and Mekambe into the fight as well. 2.1 is the gap currently. His theory may be working as Mekambe is looking for a position as well. Little Skill now tries to go around the outside of the first turn. He does nothing. He goes for the tries to switch back a little bit. Still nothing. Mekambe goes from nowhere to somewhere. Very close to Jake. Almost a dive bomb, I will say. And now they are side by side. Getting the elbows out is the most important part currently. Jake does that. Now outside for this very, and I mean very high speed corner, which is taken in 4th gear. So the mid speed corner technically is not very well done as Will Johnson overtakes Smetty for 6th place. But the gaps at here are very close, and they spin, they crash out. Jake and Mekambe have a huge crash into the 19 degrees corner. Stuff. This 3rd position. Jake goes 4th, Mekambe goes 5th. The gentleman rules still stay, and Will Johnson has some place for position as well as Smetty just goes completely straight in the corner. The gap that's closest is Smetty. What am I talking about? It's Little Skill versus Edmund. It's been 7 minutes into the race and I've been non-stop talking. Please take the wheel. I need to take some water. No, don't take some water. As Little Skill takes the 1st position into the high-speed corner. He just sends it over the hill. He goes, and Edmund and Little Skill will just keep me here hanging.
No water for you, man.
Have fun. I need to get some water.
As Little Skittle takes a drift, Edmund is right on his bumper and Mekambe is right on Jake's bumper, but we don't see that, probably. Edmund will try to put Little Skittle under the pressure, and it's happening. Little Skittle makes a huge mistake, and it's almost cost him 2 positions. Now, we are in the high-speed ring, right at the end, probably. And Sloth will try to overtake Little Skittle. Inside line he has. Little Skittle is drifting a lot. It was a good, probably offensive drift because he got closer for a while. And now Little Skittle will have to defend because Sloth is right on his bumper. He will try it from the outside into the 1st corner. Little Skittle goes defensive and he makes a mistake. A bit of a drift. Not exactly a good place to drift, man. As Sloth is very close. They go side by side. But Little Skittle had the inside line and Sloth needed to back out. Now Little Skittle will try to get his head back in the game and will try to catch up to Edmund.
But it's Sloth
takes a lot of grass.
I'm sorry, I'm back.
Welcome. Enjoy.
But it's Sloth who keeps attacking Little Skill. Now they go side by side off the 90-degree corner. into the Omega. It's the next corner. Will they still stay side by side? It's not a very good idea, but they still do it. The shoulders go out. Little skill takes it. He doesn't take Sloth out. It's very much legal in these cars. It's DTM after all. 1.1 gap to the leader. 0.5 is the gap between Sloth and Little Skill. This race is going to keep more and more interested. It's still 6 minutes left, and we haven't stopped. Either way, we are getting one of the best races ever, as Little Skill makes a huge mistake. It takes a lot of grass here, almost spins out on the hill, and next time I'm going to show you. It is a hill. It doesn't look like it from this point of view, but it definitely is a hill. Within 1 second is first to third. You couldn't ask for better stuff than here that you have currently on Bikernieki. Sloth is right on Little Skill's rear bumper as they almost go side by side. He wants to go side by side into the next corner, and he sends it there, but Little Skill keeps his speed as well. It's all you have to do here. Will Johnson makes a mistake in the meantime off screen. Smetty will have some fun with that as he's getting very close to him according to the minimap. But Sloth is still fighting for the second place.
Sloth is very close.
Little Skill is doing everything he can in his powers to keep the second place. The gap is still within a second. They take... Whoa! Whoa, that's a huge crash by Little Skill. And Sloth will get slowed down by this as well. But it's Edmund who has the first place all to himself. 2 seconds is the gap. Little Skill has to turn around as fast as he can.
Macambe is close.
Sees him. He has the speed. Into the first corner they go. It's an easy position. Little Skill drops from second to fourth, but it's now side by side into the first corner. Macambe versus Little Skill. Right behind him is Jake, who is also looking for some positions. Little Skill behind Macambe. This will be another fight for the ages. Bikernieki is serving up a dish, and it's delicious.
As Little Skill makes a mistake, he drops back to 1 second of a gap, but he will try to come back on Macambe.
It's a huge mistake for Little
himself.
Skill. He outbreaks himself. Jake gets the fourth position. Little Skill goes in the fifth in almost 1 lap, 4 minutes to the end, and it's Sloth who is getting close to Edmund, and it's 5th last race if I remember correctly. But it's now Sloth who will try the same overtake. Now here you have the point of view. It is a hill. It is pretty hard to do. And there goes Sloth. He tries the same move Little Skill has tried on him or Edmund. I'm not sure currently, but it doesn't work. It's Edmund versus Sloth. Onto the high speed ring they go. Sloth has the pace right here. I think he's even faster than Edmund. He takes better lines. You can see there.
But Edmund is very wide. He goes very defensive. He's the Minister of Defense for this race. He will try to keep Sloth behind as the gap closes between these two. Edmund will try to use
minuscule. 0.2. I don't think it's even 0.2. It's 0.1. It's around the 0.19 mark. That's where you want it to be. Sloth, you want to be very close right now. Out of this corner. It's pedal to the metal. It's all about momentum. It's physics all over again for Sloth and Edmund. Now onto the first corner they go. Side by side. Is it a good idea? I'm not sure. There it's not. Sloth takes the switch back. He takes the first position into the first corner. Edmund takes a really wide, and I mean a really wide line. Sloth finally takes the first position. And it's 2 laps to go, technically.
Maybe even 3, it depends.
It depends. But what a race it has been till now. Will Johnson is pretty close to Smetty. We are still not stopping here. He has some issues with the string, which shouldn't happen. This race is without damage for the reason it's a very hard track to drive. This
and Johnson is very close to Smetty, and Edmund's spins out
spins
in
in the
it was
Omega.
Omega.
And
Yeah.
Mekambe is very, very close. And that's 3-second position for Mekambe.
It was just open doors for Mekambe, and Edmund will try to stick with Mekambe and hopefully overtake him back.
Oh, Will
but
Johnson is
it
very,
doesn't
very
look
close
like
to
that.
Smetty. The gap is less than 0.2. It's less than 0.1, and it's a small touch into the wall. But Will Johnson takes the better of it, even though it was a similar crash. Will Johnson somehow gets 6th place. That's overtake of the season. What was that? Smetty is currently
overtake.
6th. A very interesting one at that.
Of a
Currently
season.
takes 7th position. He's last. Johnson is 6th. It's still 4 points. The difference is 1 point. It's for every position technically, but every singular point counts. As Little Skill will try to overtake Jake. They're on the high-speed ring and very slow. We'll have 3. It looks like we'll have 3 laps to go. Maybe. We have to watch
It looks
Sloth.
like
We have to
that.
watch the gaps as Smithy is getting really close. The Will Johnson will maybe defend a little bit. No, he lets Smithy on the inside, and it's side by side onto the high-speed ring. We have 3 laps to go. This and 2 other laps. Well, technically 2 laps still. It's this one plus 1, so whatever. The gap shortens a little bit, but there are 2 gaps that are very, and I mean very close to each other and very similar. Little Skill wants to overtake Jake. Can he do it? May he? Will he not? He has the fastest lap he currently has. It's purple for some reason. Purple. It's
Purple.
Smetty is close as well though. Bikernieki is closer
And
than
Jake
we
made
thought.
makes a huge mistake, and that means that Little Skittle will try to overtake him going into the beginning of the what's
Ring-
it
ring
called?
of
Yeah, the
skill.
skill ring. Yeah.
The
And
North
Little
Life
Skittle
apart.
will try will try to push Jake to his limits, so Jake makes mistakes. But I don't think it's possible right now. He's too
Smetty in the
There is
meantime made a
huge
mistake
gap.
which got him off the 7th position as Little Skill dives inside into the Omega as he spins out as well. Jake takes 4th position with clear absence of Little Skill. If that worked out, imagine. Actually, imagine
Jake-
if that worked out.
Yeah, it would be a very good looking overtake, but Jake closed the doors probably cleanly. I'm not really sure. It's hard to judge. But that means that Jake is stable in 4th position, and Little Skittle, well, he can't really do
Little Skill
much because he
spins
spins.
again. It's good news for Will Johnson. Not very good news for Little Skill.
Do you think the tires are ending?
Then how is
Because-
Mekambe still so fast?
I don't
It's
know,
all
maybe
about
different
tire
setup?
savings.
Well, as we saw just now, Little Skittle is drifting almost in every corner, but Mekambe isn't, so maybe that's why his tires are lasting more.
Maybe Little
Then
Skill made
Skittles.
more mistakes. And it's the final lap. We forgot to mention a Sloth is still first. 9 seconds, 10 seconds we can say, is the gap between him and Mekambe. Can we maybe see a pretty, well, it's not a clean win. He fought skin and nails, skin and teeth. He did everything for this first place.
So hopefully he doesn't make a big mistake that would cost him those 10 seconds.
Well, hopefully nothing like that will happen. With Little Skill, who currently enters the last lap, Will Johnson enters the last lap as well. And Smetty rounds the final corner. Sloth, right now, into Omegas. And he is doing a very clean job. You can see the precise movements of the throttle. He's even not sharing the car as well. You can see it, and it's amazing. It's why we have the graphic there. You can see the precise movements you have to drive this track and this car. Also, his braking patterns are... Oh yeah, I forgot. Slav is on a controller.
Oh. And he's first, by the way.
That makes it even more impressive.
Thank God this guy isn't racing on a wheel.
Imagine that we have to buy Slav a wheel.
Damn, I want some competition.
Slav
Imagine.
drifting as well for the cameras. He knows the spotlight is on him as he rounds out some of the final corners of the Bikernieki big circuit. As he slides through some of the final section, he sees the penultimate corner right in his sights. It's all there is to this beautiful track. As he approaches, he's on the start finish line. He knows it's his. Slav wins his first reverse grid of the Ultimate Touring Challenge. Mekambe rounds out. The winner of the first race rounds out the final corner and second again on softs, which is incredible. Edmund, after an interesting first race, ends third in the reverse grid. Jake ends fourth, very close. Maybe did he end fourth last time again?
I don't actually know, to be honest.
Maybe the most consistent driver we have here. Well, maybe that's Mekambe. Jake ends fourth. Little skill, just a little behind Jake, ends fifth. Will Johnson right now rounding out the final corner of Bikernieki. The hell for him has ended, and he's not last in every race. He takes sixth in the reverse grid, and Smetty takes last position, which happens to the best of us. Edmund has
Also,
some pretty
if you
amazing
noticed,
donuts.
if you noticed, we halved the gaps. We pretty much halved the end gaps, because last guy in the normal start had nearly 2 minutes, and now it's only 1. So everybody made less mistakes, and it was quite clean. I liked it.
Well, let's take our top 3 for our very normal and very great interviews.
Steal them.
No, we ask them. We are normal.
Nah.
We ask them. We are normal.
But we are not normal.
Skill. We are going to have a lot of people here. I just noticed. We are not. We are going to have only
Fair.
4.
That's maybe for the better.
Yeah, it is. Well, as we are waiting for our interviews. Okay, we'll just drag them. It's fine.
Few time.
Hello.
Hey.
We were abducted. Someone is
No.
missing.
I was being
Welcome to the alien spaceship.
What?
That's everyone.
Mekambe is the alien, but
Oh my god. Well, what a race it has been. The first race had a race restart. What happened in the first start? Let's start with Edmund, then Skill, then Mekambe, then Slav.
Okay, so basically someone in front of me braked unexpectedly, got turned around, and I was trying to avoid him, but I got bumped, and then I just spun out and went straight into like a bunch of people, and couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's quite sad. Well, but it had to be done. Little skill. What do you think
I-
about the?
I think
First-
I was I right behind Mekambe or
Yeah, you were behind me.
Yeah,
I
I
wanted
feel
to make the first corner really conscious. I did not really know where to brake.
you went
Very-
tight. You went.
really
You
tight.
wanted to go really tight. So yeah, he braked like a
Yeah,
bit
well,
more
I
than
mean-
I would expect it, and then I turned him around, or I got turned around by hitting him. Either way.
No,
So yeah,
I
You
braked, he
hit
did
me
not
and
hit me.
turn around. And before the restart or like
No, before the first
before the
off, yeah.
restart, the first.
yeah, I was from the outside, you went inside, I guess you went I closed the door a bit, like wasn't wide enough, and you went into me, spun, and then
Yeah.
death ensued.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's from my part of the that was really just okay. My wheels getting mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that was a start of all the starts. That was definitely one of the starts of all time. Yeah. So yeah.
So Mekambe, I have one question.
hmm
How
Yep.
do you last so long on softs?
He was on soft.
Bro, it's 15 minutes race. What the fuck?
I was 20% on mediums after this race.
I don't know. I was just feeling this.
What kind of
Something-
tires do you have, man? What?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to try on softs now. What? I was just overheated for half of this race. What?
What softs are you on? It's like it's pointing at him.
Like there was a choice, you know.
Hold up,
What
I'm
was your
gonna put.
dire choice?
I'm putting on softs now. Hold up.
Like
That's
I had
not
0
right.
problems with my tire.
That is not right.
I guess I'm just bad.
The impossible might happen. But pole position,
But-
first race win, second race second. How do you feel?
Yeah.
I think
I
you're,
was fast, you know.
you're tied on points with Slav for the championship currently.
Lot of emotions.
Yeah. I mean, I had a whole lot of fun. This track is extremely fun. Not quite fun for overtake.
What do you think about the reverse grid?
You know, it's better to have fights than just be in front. Great fight. Makes happen.
Honestly, I can't hear a word you are saying.
Oh, I need to change it. Yeah, actually.
Okay, let's move on to Slav for the time being. Second in the first race, first in the second race. How do you feel?
Wonderful. Honestly, the most fun I had ever in a race, probably. It was really nice racing. Like the track is surprisingly fun, I guess, for side by side racing.
And the car, what do you think of the car?
It's all right, I guess. It's a bit of a handful sometimes, but it was also kind of fun.
I won't even ask, he wanted this combo forever. Edmund,
Okay.
Hello.
let's be here. Third in the second race, sixth, well, almost last in the first race. What suddenly happened in the second race that you're on podium?
I don't know. The first race wasn't up to like my expectations. I made a lot of mistakes, but well, maybe I just sharpened my skills for the second race and prepared a better starting position. And suddenly I was setting my best laps by like 2-3 seconds. So I was pretty surprised that I held first for that long. But after I learned that Jake wasn't the driver behind me and it was still with Sloth, it's just like a sense of dread came upon me. But I managed to hold the lead for another lap, but then made a small mistake. But I think it was expected that Sloth would overtake me, and then I just lost concentration, but probably wouldn't help me that much, and I'd still probably finish third behind Makambe, even if I didn't make the mistake. Since my tires went off a cliff, I really don't know how Makambe was doing with his tires, managing it so perfectly. But I'm surprised that I'm standing on the podium now.
Well, it's a good surprise, I guess. Let's go. You had some very great overtakes, and you had a very interesting dive bump in one of the last. Well,
Was it
one of the last laps on Jake?
was
what
it the
did you
crest?
think?
Yeah, it was the crest.
It was the
yeah.
crest at Omega.
Yeah.
What did go? What went through your head when you thought about that move and when you crashed out?
Well, one of those. I mean, the crest I just went over actually. It is one of the slowest corners on the track. So yeah, if you can, of the places that you can actually dive, this would be one of them. I do remember that he went a bit wide as well. So just me running my normal line help was just enough to overtake as well, I think. But yeah, like. Just in general, oh yeah, and then me going wide over over that curb. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, the race we done before with this car were very, very fun, and it was just nice to play around with. But just this week, it was just... It felt like I just lost all sense of grip in this car. And just randomly going from just totally fine to suddenly being backwards, and just not even having the grip to just spin around. Or just sliding sideways for seconds at a time. So yeah. Also, I'm trying the softs now, and I'm yeah, they're red hot. So okay, I really don't know how Makambe survived. Like I did mediums, and I had 20% grip left at the end of the race. I didn't even know you could drive with that. So yeah, maybe just my setup that was a bit too aggressive.
Yeah, maybe it's all the comments.
I was using
But
your
yeah.
setup and my tires were fine at the end.
Yeah, but maybe I'm just
tire whisperer then.
yeah.
Whispers to the tires. He's Checo Perez.
Oh hell no, bro.
But
Don't
yeah,
compare me
maybe
to this, but
maybe I just want to be a bit too aggressive then from what I expect of the car. But yeah, and then just combined with just a couple bad settings. But apparently this car just has some sort of torque factoring on the brakes as well, that it just starts braking individual tires to keep grip. But like because of that, I have actually no idea what the platform is doing, because it just feels like it feels fine and then suddenly just backwards because it can't clip up anymore. It's just weird.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's really looking forward to this. But yeah, that's kind of difficult to actually keep it on track. This is the closest you can get to a drift track without it actually being a drift track. Like especially the middle sector, and like the two high-speed corners, those are very, very satisfying to actually go through in third, like in fourth or third, and just full speed sending it. But yeah,
Interesting.
quite a hassle, but it was fun. Yeah.
Chlebby, do you have any questions of your own?
Only probably how much are you looking forward to the next race?
They don't even know what it is. That,
Yeah,
if you
we don't know.
tell it to them.
It doesn't
Talk.
matter.
Talk to
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
No, you should talk to
Talk
them. You
to
know
me.
it.
Nah,
It's your job.
I want to for you to submit your guesses, you know, firstly, before I tell you.
Okay, let's take
Hold
how
on.
we
I
took
have it
Edmund's
written.
skill cannot guess, Makambe slow.
Mhm.
I have it written somewhere.
Oh, we changed it a little bit, so
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not NASCAR.
it's not
No.
NASCAR.
Okay. Then maybe Super GT.
Ding 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 ding. You're correct.
You
Oh,
didn't even
man.
let the others guess. Ah.
He got it correct on his first try.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, yes, we are doing Super GT next. It's real-wheel drive cars around very fun tracks. So we'll see you next week on in Japan.
Hope you are ready,
Yay.
or you will be ready.
You will have to be, because
Yeah.
these cars are pain to drive.
Now,
I-
compared to these cars, like tonight, I've tried the mods. They're a bit more tame. I will say that, from like my
Aw.
testing of it. I don't mind that after tonight. They will still be plenty good to actually just have proper battles with. So that won't be the problem.
and
Wait, are you
That'll be a
racing
bit-
Fuji?
They'll be a
Wait,
bit more.
What track are you
tactical,
racing?
That is up to you. We have
Oh.
we have 3 options like last time, like this time.
Okay, that's nice.
yeah, everything will be uploaded after stream ends. So you can go into the launch chat and we will go to you once the stream
But
ends.
What will the options be
Okay.
though? What are the options?
Okay,
One-
yeah,
one of them-
I should tell the options. You will race all the cars. You will not choose a car this time. Well, you will choose a car to your specific liking, which please DM me before the race, or I'll somehow figure it out.
Magic.
It will have to be somehow. And the tracks are, which it's pretty important because the tracks are what it makes so much fun. It's Okayama, Fuji, and Suzuka.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, it's very interesting tracks. Hope you will like at least one of them.
That's true.
Fuji is without chicane, so yeah. Just so you know.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, no chicane because it's more fun.
What do you mean, no fun? Chicane is the fun part.
Chicane is not the fun part.
You like chicane,
It's the
What?
the punt part.
bruh.
Bro,
But now it's
the death part.
literally the slowest corner on the track. Not even an overtaking opportunity.
It's the most fun corner. Well, technically it is an overtaking.
Now it is the most fun
It is.
corner. Now it's just a cent and a half.
You will see. You will see. It's fine.
Yeah, we will see.
Okay,
It
I
is.
will come back to you once we are done here. Bye. Get
Okay.
out.
Goodbye.
Maybe.
Get out!
Get out of here. Okay, I'm done with this car as well. Like, should I actually start?
Okay. After that very interesting thing said. So, this was our amazing race at Bikernieki. The Alfa Romeo provided us with some very good racing as well. So, what do you think about tonight's racing?
Well, I look forward to it, but sadly I won't be here to commentate with
No,
you.
I meant about this race, but fine.
Ah, fair enough. So, to get back to this race was fun. It was more eventful than I anticipated. And yeah, I think everyone else had fun too, because they sounded like hyped up and ready for the next race, you know?
I definitely agree with that. I loved race 2. We had so many good action moments as well. I think we can get better than that. But it's been a hell of a season opener, and I hope we have even more races like this in the future. Well, I was your commentator for the night. My name is Spitslam. Right beside me was Klebik,
Bye.
and I will see you next week in Japan. See ya.
See ya.